General Josh Stein is with us answering your question. So this question deals with reservations that were made. This person says, I rented a Myrtle Beach condo in February, canceled it in May. I've called numerous times to get my deposit, but they haven't done it yet. What can I do?
File a complaint, please. If you could not meet if it was impossible for you to satisfy the end of your contract, they owe you the money back. And what I would recommend actually is doing two things. File a complaint with my office since you live in North Carolina, but also file a complaint with the South Carolina Attorney General as well. And all you have to do is Google South Carolina Attorney General Consumer Complaint Form, and I'm sure it will pop right up. You know, there was a realtor in the Outer Banks which had initially promised refunds, but then said they weren't going to give refunds. They would only offer credits for vacation within the next year. And this was to people who could not go. It was to Hatteras Island. It was impossible for them to get to the island because the shutdown in April. And my office intervened, reached out to the realtor, and the realtor has done the right thing and is providing full refunds to all of those consumers.
Mm-hmm. This person is asking, should I file a complaint with the AG's office if I feel like my business isn't doing enough to keep employees safe? They've barely provided any sort of PPE.
That is not something that would be under my office because that's not a consumer complaint. That would be a labor complaint, and you could either contact local law enforcement because local law enforcement is charged with enforcing the executive orders, or contact the Department of Labor, which is to ensure the safety of workplaces for their employees.
So then the follow-up text to that is now, what kind of business violations can be reported to the AG's office?
What my office does is help people when there's a consumer business dispute. If the business is mistreating its customers, if they've either treated you unfairly or they've deceived you in some way, that's when the law comes into effect. So what we encourage people to do is if they have a dispute with their business as a customer, let my office know, file a complaint with us. We will reach out to the business to see if we can resolve it. If we can, that's great. If it turns out that that business has a number of complaints against them that are like yours, then it will rise on our enforcement priority list, and we may actually begin a legal action against that company. And so by letting us know, you're doing two things. One is you're helping yourself because maybe we can resolve your issue, but you're also letting us know where we need to focus our enforcement efforts.
All right, tomorrow you have a webinar that people can log on to. Talk about what that is and what they will learn during that time.
We're doing a statewide teletown hall on consumer scams, particularly the many types of scams as it relates to the coronavirus pandemic, because that's obviously the biggest thing in the news. It's what people are really afraid of. There's a lot of confusion, and the scammers are striking. And so we want people to be empowered with the information they need to better protect themselves and their loved ones.
And so the way that they would do that, would they just go on your Facebook page, or they would go on your website and there'll be a link there?
Yeah, go to ncdoj.gov, and there should be a link to join that teletown hall tomorrow.
Okay, and we're going to make sure that we put that in the 2 Wants to Know section as well so that you will have that. Very quickly, someone is asking, can landlords evict people from their apartments now?
The ban on evictions has been lifted by the Chief Justice in terms of people being able to file evictions in state court, but there are certain landlords who cannot. It depends on the source of their funding. It's very complicated, but federally funded loan programs, they cannot, under the CARES Act, evict people. So a person who is being evicted should engage their realtor, landlord, to do everything they can to work out a payment plan so you can stay in your home.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today with all of your expertise and your time with all of the scams and the robocalls and all of that. Thank you for sending in your questions.